Introduction to Critical Perspectives. 9. The Cultural Perspective. A. Multiple choice questions. 1. Social beliefs, values, and norms belong to A. Material culture. B. Non-material culture. C. Both material and non-material cultures. D. None of the. 2. Which of the following statements is true about the cultural perspective? A. Culture and literature are separable. B. Literature influences and shapes culture. C. Culture influences and shapes literature. D. Literature is an autonomous entity. 3. Visual arts, buildings, and written records belong to A. Material culture. B. Non-material culture. C. Both material and non-material cultures too. D. None of them. 4. The concrete manifestation of culture is known as A. A cultural form. B. A cultural practice. C. Cultural identity. D. A cultural meaning. Extra MCQs. 1. According to the cultural perspective, a literary work is viewed as A. Autonomous and separate from its cultural context. B. Intricately linked to its cultural environment. C. Dependent solely on its formal elements. D. Uninfluenced by socio-cultural norms. 2. How does postmodern culture influence literature, according to the text? A. It has no influence on literary works. B. It shapes the content and values of literary works. C. It restricts the creative freedom of writers. D. It emphasizes traditional storytelling techniques. 3. What is the central assumption of the cultural perspective regarding literature? A. Literature is a mirror of society. B. Literary works are autonomous entities. C. Writers create literature in isolation from culture. D. Culture has no impact on the meaning of a literary work. 4. How does the cultural perspective differ from formalism and new criticism? A. It emphasizes the autonomy of literary works. B. It focuses on the socio-cultural context of literature. C. It ignores the role of culture in shaping literary meaning. D. It disregards the importance of cultural norms. 5. According to Sir Edward Tyler, what constitutes culture? A. Only socially acquired knowledge. B. Art and customs acquired by individuals. C. A complex whole of knowledge, beliefs, and practices. D. Only artifacts produced by a society. 6. How does culture influence our interpretation of other people's ideas and actions? A. It has no influence on our interpretation. B. It provides a framework for interpretation. C. It limits our ability to understand others. D. It is irrelevant to our interpretation process. 7. In literary criticism, culture is seen as A. A static and unchanging entity. B. A perspective through which we perceive literature. C. A product of individual creativity. D. Unrelated to the interpretation of literary works. 8. What are the 3 fundamental aspects of human experience mentioned in the text? A. Behavior, knowledge, and artifacts. B. Language, beliefs, and customs. C. Art, law, and morals. D. Ideas, actions, and words. 9. How does a literary text relate to cultural artifacts? A. It is completely independent of them. B. It reflects and incorporates them. C. It dismisses their significance. D. It rejects their influence on meaning. 10. What role does cultural knowledge play in the cultural perspective of literature? A. It is irrelevant to the interpretation of literary works. B. It provides a framework for understanding literary meaning. C. It has no impact on the cultural perspective. D. It limits the interpretation process. 11. According to Milton Albrecht, which relationship between literature and society is almost universally accepted? A. Literature as a means to control society. B. Literature as a reflection of culture. C. Literature as an autonomous entity. D. Literature as a product of individual creativity. 12. What are examples of cultural forms mentioned in the text? A. Language, beliefs, values. B. Food, clothes, houses. C. Ideas, morals, customs. D. Dreams, aspirations, fears. 13. In the story Lullaby by Leslie Silko, what cultural practice is depicted? A. Native American storytelling. B. Hindu wedding ceremony. C. Singing a lullaby. D. Christian baptism. 14. In Ruby Thapar's story Initiation, what cultural practice is highlighted? A. Native American dance. B. Nepali Bratabanda. C. African tribal ceremony. D. Chinese New Year celebration. 15. How is culture related to identity, according to the text? A. Culture has no impact on identity. B. Culture is the sole determinant of identity. C. Culture shapes linguistic and cultural behavior, influencing identity. D. Identity is completely independent of culture. 16. How does the text define cultural diversity? A. The existence of various cultures within a society. B. The dominance of a single culture within a society. C. The absence of culture in a society. D. The existence of diverse languages within a society. 17. What is cultural identity in terms of ethnicity and nationality? A. It has no relation to ethnicity or nationality. B. It is expressed through clothing and ornaments. C. It is solely determined by economic factors. D. It is unrelated to one's cultural background. 18. How does culture influence the meaning and significance of different elements? A. It has no impact on their meaning or significance. B. It assigns different meanings and values to them. C. It removes all meaning and significance from them. D. It universalizes their meaning and significance. 19. What is a multicultural society, as described in the text? A. A society with a single dominant culture. B. A society with diverse beliefs and practices. C. A society with no cultural diversity. D. A society with no distinct cultural groups. 20. According to Ziauddin Sada and Borin Loon, how does culture shape identity? A. It has no influence on identity. B. It shapes identity as much as economics. C. It is the sole determinant of identity. D. It is unrelated to one's cultural background. B. Short questions. 1. From the cultural perspective, what is literature? From a cultural perspective, literature is a reflection, manifestation, and product of a particular society's values, beliefs, customs, and traditions. It is an integral part of a culture's identity and serves as a textual representation of the community's way of life. Literature encompasses a wide range of forms, including poems, stories, novels, plays, and essays, each of which carries within it the imprint of the cultural context in which it was created. Literature reflects the tangible and intangible aspects of culture, such as material artifacts, social practices, language, and belief systems. It provides a window into the socio-historical environment of a community, allowing readers to understand the values and norms that shape their collective identity. Through narratives, characters, and settings, literature encapsulates the cultural forms and practices that define a society. For example, a story set in a specific cultural context may feature characters engaging in practices like traditional ceremonies, wearing specific attire, or speaking a particular dialect. Moreover, literature is a site of diverse meanings and values, representing the rich tapestry of perspectives within a multicultural society. It captures the plurality and diversity of beliefs, practices, and customs that coexist within a single community. By engaging with literature, readers gain insights into the varied identities, languages, and cultural expressions that make up a society. Literature is not an isolated entity, it is deeply intertwined with the culture from which it emerges. It serves as a repository of cultural knowledge, a mirror reflecting societal values, and a medium through which cultural narratives are shared and preserved for generations to come. 2. What is culture? How does it shape or influence literary works? Culture encompasses the shared beliefs, values, customs, practices, and behaviors of a particular group of people within a society. It is the accumulated knowledge, traditions, and ways of life that are passed down from generation to generation. Culture is not static, it evolves over time in response to various influences, including historical events, technological advancements, and interactions with other cultures. It serves as a framework that shapes how individuals perceive and interact with the world around them. In literature, culture plays a profound role in shaping the content, themes, characters, and settings of literary works. It provides the backdrop against which narratives unfold, influencing the motivations, conflicts, and resolutions of the story. Cultural values and norms influence character behaviors, relationships, and decision-making processes. Additionally, language itself is a product of culture, reflecting unique expressions, idioms, and linguistic nuances specific to a particular community. Moreover, literature often serves as a means to preserve, explore, and critique cultural identities and practices. Authors draw upon their cultural backgrounds to infuse authenticity into their works, offering readers insights into diverse worldviews and experiences. Through literature, cultural narratives are shared, allowing for a deeper understanding of the complexities, traditions, and perspectives that define a society. Culture is an integral component of literature, shaping the content and context of literary works. It provides a lens through which readers can explore the rich tapestry of human experiences, beliefs, and practices across different societies and time periods. 3. What can be the relationship between culture and literature? The relationship between culture and literature is intricate and symbiotic. Literature is a reflection, expression, and product of culture, and culture, in turn, provides the fertile ground from which literature emerges. Literature is deeply embedded in its cultural context. It mirrors the values, beliefs, norms, traditions, and historical experiences of a particular society. Authors draw inspiration from their cultural milieu to craft narratives that resonate with the experiences of their community. For example, works like Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart authentically depict Igbo culture and the impact of colonialism, offering readers a window into the complexities of Nigerian society. Literature serves as a vessel for cultural preservation and transmission. It safeguards languages, oral traditions, and historical accounts, ensuring that they are passed down to subsequent generations. Epics like the Iliad and Mahabharata hold immense cultural significance, embodying the collective memory and values of their respective societies. Literature can be a catalyst for cultural evolution and change. It has the power to challenge norms, provoke critical thinking, and inspire social movements. Harriet Beecher Stowe's Uncle Tom's Cabin played a pivotal role in the abolitionist movement in the United States, contributing to a shift in societal attitudes towards slavery. Culture and literature share a dynamic relationship where one informs and enriches the other. Literature acts as a cultural artifact, preserving, interpreting, and critiquing the values and experiences of a society. Conversely, culture provides the raw materials and inspiration for literary creation, shaping the stories, characters, and themes that emerge in literary works. Together, they form an inseparable tapestry, reflecting the intricate interplay of human experiences and expressions across time and place. 4. What are the different assumptions of the cultural perspective in literature? Elaborate each with an example. The cultural perspective in literature is guided by several key assumptions that illuminate the intricate relationship between literary works and the societies they emerge from. This assumption posits that literature mirrors the values, beliefs, practices, and historical experiences of a particular society. For example, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby reflects the cultural extravagance and disillusionment of the Roaring Twenties in America. The characters' opulent lifestyles and the pursuit of the American dream are emblematic of the societal values of the time. This perspective acknowledges that cultures are multifaceted and diverse, composed of various subcultures, ethnicities, and social groups, each with its own set of beliefs and practices. For instance, the cultural practices of a Nepali Brahmin during a religious ceremony differ significantly from those of a newer community member. This diversity enriches the tapestry of a society's cultural expressions. This assumption asserts that cultural forms, such as rituals, ceremonies, attire, and language, directly influence literary works. Rubi Thapar's story, Initiation, vividly portrays the cultural practice of a Hindu Bratabandha ceremony, incorporating elements like traditional attire, dhoti, and customs, bikchida. It recognizes that culture is integral to one's identity, influencing how individuals perceive themselves and others. Cultural practices, language, and customs serve as markers of identity. For example, a person's choice of clothing or the language they use can signal their cultural affiliation. This viewpoint suggests that literature can be employed to regulate or influence societal behavior. George Orwell's 1984 serves as a cautionary tale about totalitarianism, using literature as a means to critique and provoke reflection on oppressive regimes. This perspective emphasizes that no culture is monolithic. Each society is a tapestry of diverse beliefs, practices, and values stemming from various ethnic, linguistic, and social groups. This diversity enriches the cultural landscape and contributes to the mosaic of human experiences. These assumptions collectively demonstrate that culture and literature are inseparable, with one shaping and informing the other. Through literature, cultural values, practices, and complexities are both preserved and critiqued, offering invaluable insights into the diverse human experiences across time and place. 5. How does literature reflect different cultural forms and practices? Give examples from a poem, story, play, or essay you have read. Literature serves as a powerful mirror reflecting various cultural forms and practices, offering readers a window into the customs, beliefs, and values of a particular society. Poems, in particular, encapsulate cultural nuances through their vivid imagery and language. Consider Langston Hughes' poem, The Negro Speaks of Rivers. Hughes uses the metaphor of rivers to symbolize the deep roots and endurance of African American culture. By referencing iconic rivers like the Euphrates and the Mississippi, Hughes connects the African American experience to ancient civilizations, emphasizing a sense of historical continuity. This reflects the cultural pride and resilience within the African American community. Furthermore, the poem's rich imagery evokes diverse cultural landscapes. For instance, the muddy bosom of the Mississippi River conjures images of fertile soil and agricultural practices central to the southern United States, a region integral to African American history. Hughes' poem thus encapsulates cultural forms such as the reverence for nature, the celebration of heritage, and the acknowledgement of a shared historical legacy. Through his poetic expression, Hughes offers readers a profound insight into the cultural depth and complexity of the African American experience. This exemplifies how literature, and in this case, poetry, can effectively mirror diverse cultural forms and practices. 6. Each culture is plural and diverse. Elaborate this statement. Each culture is a multifaceted tapestry woven from the threads of various beliefs, traditions, languages, and practices. It's a mosaic of different perspectives, customs, and ways of life that coexist within a particular community or society. This diversity arises from numerous factors, including historical influences, geographical settings, and interactions with neighboring cultures. For instance, consider Nepal, a nation known for its rich cultural tapestry. Within its borders, there are over 125 ethnic groups, each with its own unique language, customs, and traditions. The Nuars, Gurungs, Tamongs, Tharas, and other communities contribute to Nepal's cultural mosaic, each bringing their distinct practices and worldviews. This cultural diversity is not limited to Nepal, it's a global phenomenon. The United States, often celebrated as a melting pot, is home to a myriad of cultures, including African, Native American, Asian, and European, each contributing to the nation's diverse identity. Cultural pluralism and diversity are the norm rather than the exception. They enrich societies by fostering a broader understanding of humanity, promoting tolerance, and celebrating the richness of human expression. Each culture's unique contribution is like a brushstroke on the canvas of human civilization, collectively creating a vibrant and dynamic masterpiece. Best of luck.